Good afternoon. Excuse me, allergies. Sorry. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Spilling Tea. I'm your host, Tiffany Daniels. We are going back to that horrible world known as the JRC. But before we do the usual disclaimers, I apologize in advance. I've been cleaning, so my allergies are really bad right now. So just know that's probably going to happen again. If you're unfamiliar with the Stop the Shocks campaign or the campaign against the troubled teen industry, you're going to find all the pertinent links right there in the description box. Please, in particular, take note of the article written by NeuroClastic, a small non-for-profit started by autistics for autistics. In it, they interviewed over 800 ABA professionals in regards to the JRC's so-called behavior modification program. The Judge Rotenberg Educational Center doesn't want you to read that article so much. They threatened NeuroClastic with a defamation lawsuit. They did not remove it from the website. NeuroClastic refused. You know the drill. Please read the article. Share on all your social media. Also included is NeuroClastic's public statement in regards to the defamation lawsuit threat, as well as a link to their GoFundMe. We are crowdfunding just in case the JRC ever actually does see through with their threat. Excuse me. Trigger warning 1. When we discuss places like the Judge Rotenberg Educational Center or Agape Boarding School for Boys, you're going to hear vivid descriptions of and catch clips of surveillance footage of people with mental health issues and disabled people being tortured and abused. If you got young children present, please make sure to use your headphones. Trigger warning 2, this channel is marked not for kids for a reason. We use profanity on occasion and speak on dark subjects. If your child is 16 and younger and they are watching this, very obviously parental supervision is advised. I apologize for any and all glares that you're going to be seeing at the moment, but quite frankly, there's really not anything I can do with it. I cannot afford professional lighting, okay? This is me in front of a Chromebook. And I am technology challenged, so just bear with me, alright? Okay, now for our next Kool-Aid drinker. I mean, allergies. JRC supporter. One commenter argues that the FDA does not have the authority to determine the state of the art and decide that one therapy is appropriate and another is not, and that in doing so, the FDA is playing the role of doctor, which sets the dangerous precedent that would allow the FDA to ban any device or use of any device anytime it disagrees with clinical practice. Oh my God, please put down the crack pipe. Please put down the crack pipe. Whoever made this comment has no idea literally how any of this works at all. The FDA, in no way, shape, or form whatsoever, is determining what is considered state of the art care. Okay? You want to know what determines standard of care? The entirety of the goddamn medical model. Okay? Standard of care, what is considered state of the art and most modern, is determined by means of consensus that is spread throughout the healthcare and mental health care field. Okay? In fact, we're going to do a Google, kids. We're going to do a Google. Because God, the stupid. Who determines standard of care Here we go, kids. Read the highlighted passage, folks. Coming from the Federation of State Medical Boards. Members of the state medical boards typically assess and determine whether care rendered by licenses is comparable to care provided to similarly qualified and reasonable physicians under the same or similar circumstances. So, standard of care is determined by state medical boards. There is also, of course, federal medical boards. Hence why I used the term earlier of general consensus. Because although there are variations in regards to what is considered standard medical care, depending on the state, there are consensus things that are the same all across the board. Therefore, the FDA at no point in time, folks, have ever stated throughout the entirety of this document that they have the authority to determine state-of-the-art standard of care. What the FDA has done is this little thing called homework. They reached out to state medical boards and from professionals who work in the field so that they could get a good grasp and understanding on what is considered state of the art and standard of care. They are in no way, shape, or form saying that we have the authority to determine the state of the art and standard of care and which therapy is appropriate and another is not. Quit smoking the crack pipe. Okay? Now, let's talk about the authority that the FDA does have. The FDA has to right to ban any device that they feel have unreasonable risks of harm. Guess what the get is? That's right, kids. Our receipts have receipts on the fact that the get device absolutely represents unreasonable risk of injury or harm. Our documents have documents. Our receipts have receipts. We have video surveillance footage. What the hell else could you possibly need to understand that what the JRC is doing is not state of the art, it's not standard of care, it is pseudoscience, evil, barbaric insanity? Okay? But how dare you say you have the authority? Karen, sit down, put down the crack pipe. You are, first of all, you're either lying or you are special level stupid. You're either lying or you're special level stupid. And there's kind of really nowhere in between there for you to make that kind of asinine comment. The FDA at no point in time has tried in any way, shape, or form to determine what is state of the art and what is not. They have at no point in time decided one therapy is appropriate and another is not. You are mincing fucking words here. Okay? On defense so that you can continue to torture disabled kids. Let that sink in. The FDA in banning that device is not at all, in any way, shape, or form, playing the role of doctor any more than anyone enforcing patients' rights are interfering in regards to what therapy is better and which one is not. The FDA is there to help protect the patients because our country, and especially Massachusetts, have a very long, dark history in regards to what happens when doctors are allowed to do whatever the hell they want with impunity. There's a reason why there are so many horror films that have to do with insane asylums. Okay? Dig into the history sometime if you know you never want to sleep again. Okay? But if they could just be on any use of device anytime it disagrees with clinical practice, everybody disagrees. Karen. Literally every single one across the field. Even ABA practitioners, even research institutes that have greenlighted things like blasting radiation into our frontal lobes to help with, behaviors. There's no argument. There is no debate. There is everyone staring at you and staring at our federal government and wondering what in the name of God is wrong with you all. Okay? Everyone is against you, JRC. Everyone. Everyone. You would be hard pressed to find literally anyone that would stand up for these evil bastards. Okay? First off, the FDA did not at any point in time say that they had the authority to determine state of the art or decide upon therapies. The FDA has stated appropriately what they do get the authority to do is remove a particular medical device when it has been proven beyond a shadow of a doubt to cause unreasonable risk of injury or harm. And it does, JRC. Second to third degree burns, loss of feeling where the electrodes have been put on different pieces of skin. Andre McCollins in a catatonic stupor for 2 months after being shocked over 31 times in a 7-hour period. Okay? Well, you shouldn't have the right to tell us no. The hell we don't. Okay? Doctors do not have the right to godlike power over their patients. That's why patients' rights laws exist. Okay? Specifically so we can make sure that horrors like what happened in the institutions do not continue on. But the problem is, Dr. Israel, the evil son of a bitch that founded this place, decided to take into his insanity the most vulnerable of us because he knew society as a whole had already written us off and there would be a minimum amount of fuss. Unfortunately, he has been correct. But what he didn't count on was us. We will not back down. We will not go away quietly. We will keep sounding from the rooftops until your entire school is closed down and those kids put in appropriate treatment programs. And that school goes the way of the dodo. There is no amount of money, no amount of slander, no amount of propaganda, threats, bullying, or bribes that are going to turn away those of us who have been fighting you for multiple decades. We are going to keep putting the truth out there, keep putting receipts in front of people's faces. We are going to keep on our YouTube channels telling these kids stories because mainstream media doesn't care. But that's not going to make us go away. In spite of what the JRC thinks, we're not exactly powerless, now are we? Okay? To even have read that comment boils my blood. It shows a complete, utter lack of understanding how any of this works. What the FDA's authority actually is. The fact that they high-handedly, don't you dare say you have the authority to determine one therapy appropriate or another. How dare you challenge the doctor? I will challenge the doctor all day long. To their face. Shoving receipts right underneath their eyeballs. I'll dare a lot. I'm not afraid of anyone. Most of us aren't. Okay? How dare us? How dare you, JRC, continue to torture generation after generation after generation of disabled kids? You bribe, you manipulate, you traumatize, and then you want to smirk in the camera like you are some kind of misunderstood martyr. But no matter what you do, you cannot drown out Andre McCullen's screams. You cannot shut down the voices of those like Jennifer Masumba. You can't make us advocates who have been a thorn in your side go away, and you can't make the rest of the medical model stop looking at you with anything less than absolute horror. The FDA does not determine standard of care. What the FDA did was their homework and spoke with those folks who do determine what is considered state-of-the-art standard of care and have put their opinions, clinical research data, and studies throughout the entirety of this final rule. And that's the end of it. We're going to go ahead and close out on that one, folks. We don't get very many views on this channel. And the few that we do tend to get removed from time to time. So please, folks, you know the drill. Please don't forget to hit the like button, hit subscribe, and please don't forget to hit the comments. I appreciate your time. And as always, folks, we here at Spilling Tea do hope you have a good one. I'll see you all in a few minutes. Bye-bye, everyone.